How are you? Welcome. Thanks for coming to hang out with me. All right, I have a big project tonight, and I don't know if you know, but services right now are 50% off, or like extra 50% off on my website, on my chalk site. So whenever you comment December, you can go and check that out. There's going to be a link there for you. And we can get started. So this is big, okay? We're going to use the 18 by 18, I can't even hardly, shiplap board, okay? And a new cutout. It's on my Etsy right now. If you comment December, you'll get the link. And designer pricing on that shiplap board right now is only $12. So just a little bit more than that is the pricing for Perks members. It's regularly 40 bucks, okay? And you can get a lot of surfaces right now for a steal. So make sure that you check that out for Black Friday. I'm going to pre-paint this, these cutouts with teal. This is Couture teal paste. And so a couple of years ago, I saw a lot of people using like teal and red for Christmas colors, and I have to say I love that. I do love teal, so this was the perfect excuse for me to be able to use a lot of teal. I hope you love this one. I do. It's simple, and I think it'll be a good impact. So hopefully I pulled out enough paste. If not, I can grab some more. But I'm just doing a rough paint job here. I don't really have to have the entire thing painted, but I don't want you to be able to see a difference in color once I put the transfer on. So I'm going to go ahead and do the whole entire thing, okay? Hey Sam, how are you? Thanks for hanging out with me. All right. Okay. We're almost there. There's only a few pieces to this cutout, even though it's giant. There's not a terrible too much. Okay, so there's the words December, obviously the 2 and the 5, and then there is a holly branch and some berries too, and they're sitting underneath this, so I'll show you that in just a second. And whenever you look at this transfer, let me show it to you. This is the transfer, okay? All the white parts on that transfer are where there's silk screen, so that's where your paste is going to go through. There is a little bit of distressing on the 2 and the 5, so you will see some spots of teal coming through. And also there's the line down the center, so I really like this font style. And I think that this teal is going to look really nice popping out. And I'm not thinking that I'm going to need to do 2 coats. I think I'm going to be good with 1. Hey, Kathy. I'm doing well. I had a really good day today. It was a long and busy day, but it was a good one, so that's good. It helps when you enjoy your job, though. Which I do very much, and the people I work with are amazing, so. Anyways, tell me about your day. What did you accomplish today? Did you do anything fun? I would like to know that. It's Wednesday. It's hump day, y'all. We're almost all the way through the week. And I realized the other day that, like, time just flies by so fast. And I was thinking about it, and it's like, we all live, like, week to week, right? Especially when you're working and things like that. So, like, it goes by so quick. Like, I can't believe how fast it goes by. It seems like it takes forever to get like from the beginning to the end of the year, but really it's just so quick. So make sure that you keep that in mind and cherish your time. Okay, I think we're all good here. Pretty sure I'm good. All right, I'm gonna just plop that over there, and then I'm gonna switch this around. So I have a little bit of cherry paste that I pulled out from my jar. So I'm going to paint my little berries, and then I also got some eucalyptus paste out, and I'm going to use a makeup sponge really fast and paint my leaves. So again, oh, I can't even grab it now. I'll show you. But the leaves are going to be mostly the top color. So I'm just doing this color as like an accent that's going to show through on a few little spots on the transfer. But mainly the other color that we're going to use on top is going to really take this away. So I work for an agricultural company. We make oils like edible oil, like different kinds of salad dressings and stuff like that. The company that I work for is responsible for most of the oil that is used by like McDonald's and Burger King for their fries. And we also, so right now I'm working on some projects where we're building some new plants, and they're basically soybean crushing facilities. And like on one of them, they're taking soybeans and they're crushing them to make edible oil and oil for an oil company. And we're taking that additional oil and shipping it off for the other company, and then we're keeping the other oil and we're making it into edible oil. So everything that we do is food grade. It's a little different for me. I worked in oil and gas most of my career, like for the last 20 years. And so I'm the manager of our scheduling department. So I schedule the projects and my team schedules our projects. So even though I've worked in oil and gas, it's a different industry that I'm in now. It's the exact same thing because schedules are going to be the same regardless of what kind of facility it's in. So basically I tell people when they need to work on stuff in order to get it done on time, and when we're going to finish the entire project. In a nutshell, that's what I do. Alright, I'm going to dry these really fast. But I have to travel a lot because I have to go out to the sites for meetings and to go see the sites and see what they're building and all that kind of stuff, which is fun. It can be fun. It's a lot though. And like right now, 3 of the projects that I'm working on are in New Orleans area. And so I tell people I'm going to New Orleans, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's so much fun. And it's not. I mean, I'm not there for fun. So, like, yeah, sure, New Orleans can be fun, but that's not my purpose for being there. I don't go out, like on bourbon or anything like that. Plus, I'm just really not interested in that. I've become less of a go out to Bourbon Street kind of person as I've gotten older. Of course, I mean, I have spent a significant amount of my time years ago doing that kind of stuff, but I'm really just not interested in it anymore. Pulling weeds. Okay, well, good for you. I don't pull many weeds in my garden. I don't really have a garden, but I do have a flower bed in the front that's totally overgrown, and I do have a garden in the back that is even more overgrown than the front one. It's basically like a little forest back there, which Chris and I were talking about wanting to actually grow stuff like food in our garden in the back. So, in the spring, the intention is to get some things planted back there and get it moving, because I want to grow things. Like, I don't know what, but I do want to grow things. I want to grow tomatoes. I would love to grow cucumbers. I don't know, pumpkins, whatever. All the things. I don't know that I'll consume everything that I grow, but I want to anyways. Anywho, alright, so let us get this all situated here. So I am going to wax all this, and I know wax is not in stock right now, but guess what? I have wax here. If you need wax, you're welcome to reach out to me or comment that you need some wax, and I'll send you an invoice and get it out to you. Okay? And I do still have 2 of those mystery bundles left. You know, I probably didn't even need to wax this 2 and 5. I definitely need to wax the ivy, or the mistletoe leaf, or whatever that's called. But I probably didn't need to wax this because it's mostly silkscreen, so it's probably fine. But I am going to wax this for sure because it's got a lot. Well, I guess it doesn't. I probably didn't need to wax any of this. But anyways, I'll do a little bit. Okay? Whatever. It's fine. I didn't need to. It's mostly silkscreen. And I don't know what I was thinking. But whatever. It's done now. No! Oh my gosh! Wow, Lynn. No, I did not see that. But I did see something the other day. Speaking of planes, that 2 planes collided in New York in LaGuardia a couple of weeks ago, I guess it was. I guess they were both coming into land. I don't know what they were doing, but it was kind of freaky because I fly United all the time and I'm not interested in that. So if we could not crash into each other, that would be perfect for me. I would definitely like to not have that happen. Okay, so I'm going to try my best, okay, to do this and see if I can make it as easy as possible, okay? So I'm going to start with the 2. If I can peel this dang thing up, my gosh. It's like not wanting to give. Hold on. No, but I'm glad I don't ship UPS because I'd probably have packages on one of those planes, and that would be disastrous, okay? All joking aside, I'm sorry to joke about things that are serious, but that's how I cope. Okay. Now, I'm going to just set that for a second, and then I'm going to work on the 5, and now you're going to see possibly me struggle. Hopefully not, but maybe, okay? But in order to keep this from sticking to itself or the table or everything else in the vicinity, I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible by attempting to line this up like this, okay? And I think that's pretty well done, actually, okay? I'm impressed with my skill there because that did take a little bit of skill. My goodness. Can I get this out of here? All right. And then my 2 could use some work with the lining up, but just slightly. There we go. Look at that. Eureka. It's practically perfect. Now, with so much silkscreen, you're going to want to do paste and peel, okay? So I'm going to start probably with the smaller pieces just to be easier on myself. And the other thing that you could totally do if you want to is you could cut this apart, okay? And what I would do if you're going to cut it is I would cut each individual piece, like cut out the December, which I think I'm going to actually do that, so I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to just come in here with my scissors. Now there's not cut lines on this because, first of all, you could just lay this down and do this transfer on a surface if you wanted to, okay? But there's not cut lines because it takes up more space on the transfer, and they can't put as much on a transfer that has cut lines, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's why sometimes you don't see cut lines, which adds up to me. Okay, it makes sense. And then I'm also going to cut right here. Cut this little leaf. And then in this way, you'll still be able to put it back on the big sheet, okay? But it just makes it easier to work with. And then we can cut this one off too. And I want to leave plenty of room along the edges of my numbers, okay? There, that's fine. So that I don't accidentally go and cut into the silk screen. You definitely don't want to do that, okay? But that'll make it easier to where now I can just take this out and put it just like this, okay? It's much easier than trying to line this giant thing up. Now, if you wanted to just use this transfer on a surface, you could still do it like this, and it would make it easier to deal with too, okay? Obviously, you would have to place each individual piece instead of just laying the whole thing flat, which is fine. You can do that if you want to, okay? Make your life easier for you, all right? And then you could even cut apart the 2 and the 5 to make that easier as well. And I'm real tempted to do that so that I can... My 2 and my 5 is lined up pretty darn good, but it could be better, I think. All right, lay that down, and then let me... So as you can see, I'm trying to go ahead and get all of these stuck on before I put any paste down. Especially because I'm going to use red on the letters. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't spell, obviously. Okay. Get it together. I'm trying my best, okay? But this way I can organize my stuff. And then clean my squeegee in between and use the same squeegee for the greenery, okay? And not have to try and mess around with it, okay, once I'm done. Hi, Terry. How are you? All right, last one. Is my art, and then I do have the berries, and I think I may be able to get away with putting the berries on here too, so let's give that a try. There's my last one. And you know I've got to use shimmer on this, right? It's required. For me, I do love a good shimmer. So that third one I'm not going to be able to do right away, but that's okay. We'll do that last, okay? Or we'll do that before we do the... I don't know. We'll do it at some point, okay? Very soon. We'll start with the red on the big stuff, okay? Now, we are going to do paste and peel. So, as we go through this, we'll peel these off and set them to the side, okay? Now, I probably need more workspace for this, but we're going to give it a try. I think I might be able to do the entire word December before I start having an issue with it drying, so I'm going to give that a try too. And then I'll peel all the letters off, and then we'll go from there. And then keep in mind that shimmer paste does take a little bit longer to dry, so don't touch it or else you risk leaving fingerprints on your design, okay? And I'm just scooting these over so that I have a flat surface, because my desk is not big enough for all this to lay out. You guys probably have better workspace than I do, but we do what we can with what we have, okay? We're innovative crafters around here. Oh God. All right. There we go. Okay. Now, ooh, I like that. That is nice. I'm loving the teal on the background. It's good with red. Approve. I think this is a go-to. I personally don't love the green and red for Christmas. Normally, like, all of my Christmas decorations are like champagne colored or like rose gold, because I'm not a big fan of red anyways, but I really dislike the green and red for Christmas colors. I just am not a fan. So depending on what you like, obviously you could do whatever colors you want, but I'm really liking this with the teal a lot. I'm doing great. Thank you for joining me, Terry. I appreciate you. All right, I'm going to set that over there, and let me show you. Oops. This, if I can pick it up. There's my D, and I don't know if y'all can see, but it's got like a little bit of like, I don't know what it's called. Distressing, I guess, on the letters themselves, so that some of that teal shows through. And on the big words, I mean on the big numbers, it also has the distressing. Now, we're going to have to keep in mind, oops, let me move this so that it's not in my way, so I can push this up, that there's a lot of silkscreen on here. So you're going to want to make a thin coat, okay? And make sure that you're really well pushed down. There will be bubbles, like I can feel right here, there's a bubble. Just make sure that your transfer is stuck down really nicely around and in the center. And make your layers as thin as possible, because it will look cakey, okay? If you don't really smooth it out and just do very, very thin coat, okay? And whenever it's silkscreen like this, it's like impossible to get around that, okay? So just, uh-oh. I do have a bubble. Try your best and it'll be fine, okay? If you have to, you know, if you have a mess up or something, you can always use a sanding block to kind of distress it a little bit and help clean up any mess that you might have created, okay? But I'm just scraping with my squeegee as I go so that I don't leave a bunch behind. I am putting on a lot to start, and then I'm kind of scraping it up. So I'm hoping that that will do the trick and not leave it looking cakey. But anywhere where there's a bubble, like right here, there's a bubble I can see, it's going to be thicker right there. Usually that's a problem for me. I generally am not really good at this whenever there's a big silk screen, but it'll be fine. Okay, no one but me probably will even ever know about it or notice it. Because who's my worst critic? It's me. Okay. And then I was thinking I would put my tree up last weekend. Well, I did not, because I got back late. Well, I got back on Friday instead of Thursday from New Orleans, and then it was Halloween, and I was just not feeling it. And so I didn't do much of anything last weekend. So I'm hoping, I don't know if I'm going to get to it this weekend either, because I have an event on Saturday. So we'll see. Ooh, I love this. But as soon as my tree goes up, I'm going to have to find a place for this thing to go. But there's my 2. I really, really like that. So I'm going to just set it right over here. And then we'll move on to the 5. The great thing about doing it like this on this backer sheet is that I can just take the entire thing in there and wash it. Okay? And I may still yet cut it apart, the 2 and the 5, just to make it easier on myself. Maybe not though, because I might someday want to use that 2 and 5 together, and I want the spacing to be right. So maybe I won't do that. I don't know. I guess the cut line would be a good guide though, so I don't know. I'm undecided, but I might do that to help me clean it easier, because this is a giant transfer. All right. Hi, Vicky. How are you? Hey, Steph. Welcome, girls. Okay. Oh man, this is a lot. That's a big one. But it'll be totally worth it. And definitely you are going to want to check out all the surfaces that we have on sale. And there's going to continue to be Black Friday stuff on sale through November. So make sure that you keep an eye out for what goes up next for sale. But right now it's surfaces, and there's a bunch of them, and they are very cheap. So stock up while you have the opportunity to do that. Okay, so see if I can get my hand underneath there. This is so much easier than, I'm glad I cut it apart, than trying to do this all with one giant sheet. Oh my gosh, that would have been really hard. Okay, and then there's my 5. Okay, so let me see if I can't set that over there, and then I'm going to try and balance this right there next to all of that. Okay, now I'm going to real quick do these little berries, and then I got to do that 3rd berry too once I pull these off. So just try not to get too close to that edge. And then I'll put my third one on here in just a second. And you really can't see the shimmer very much, like just looking dead on at it, but you can tell it's there in person, so I love that. All right, and then let me see if I can do this that same way I did it a minute ago. There we go. Just get it on there in whatever way you have to do it. All right, there we go. We're done with that, at least. And then we can move on to the green. And this project is basically done already. There's my last one. Okay, set that over there. And I'm gonna make sure I push this down again because it kind of came up as I was fiddling with all that. I'm gonna clean my squeegee with the baby wipe so I don't have to dirty up another one. And we are going to use pesto. Okay, hopefully this isn't dry. No, that's good. I did check it a minute ago, but it seemed okay, so it is kind of funky because I store my paste upside down in this drawer right here on my desk. And it goes onto the lid, which is fine. It's sealed and everything, but whenever I open them, they're like that, where they're stuck to the lid. And that's okay. It works just the same. And that way I can see what colors they are and I don't have to relabel them. Because if I stored them upright, I would have to label them. Or else I'd drive myself crazy trying to get into my drawer and figure out what color I'm going to use. But it works for me, for my purposes. Now, over here by this red, I'm going to be real careful to not mix it. And then quickly get the rest of that so that I can pull it off because I don't want this to dry. I like that. It looks good. All right, so set that right over there. I like the veins being lighter like that. It's very nice. And that pesto is a perfect color for these leaves. Okay, now, and plus, you know, we were talking about the colors for Christmas. If I would have done green and red, or even white and red or something else on the letters, I feel like it would have been too much because of this greenery. So I'm glad we didn't. All right, and then there's that other leaf. Now I don't know what I'm going to do with that, but we'll see here in just a minute when we put this all together. So this, I didn't even open this earlier when I brought it in here. Hi, Sue. How are you? Yeah, Kathy, I love the shimmer too. Basically all of the shimmers, they're my favorite. Anytime I have an excuse to use a shimmer, I'm taking it. Pretty much. Okay. Clear the way. There. Good night. Okay, so I'm going to just throw that down for a second and then bring all of this over here so I can dry it all together. That is so nice. I love it. And the great thing about this board is, even though it doesn't come with a hanger, you can totally easily make a hanger for it. You can add twine on the back. You can make it a leaner if you want to. Super easy to do that. You could add one real easy on the back of it. Just buy some of those little hangers. I have a box of them right over here in my craft room, excuse me, that I regularly will add onto different surfaces. Oh. This is basically already dry, but the shimmer I don't think is completely dry yet, especially on the 2 and the 5. Oh. So I'm going to just quickly make sure it is. Now, those bubbles that we were talking about, I don't see many issues. I see a few little imperfections where there was a bubble in the silk screen. Oh my gosh, I just set my finger right in that. Like, y'all saw how wet that still was. Isn't it pretty? I'm glad you like it. I love the teal with the red. It is really nice. And I never would have thought about it, ever. I never would have thought it was acceptable until I saw another person using teal with red for Christmas, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it. Oh my gosh, Lynn, yes. Because, you know, I can't line anything up for nothing. Which, I don't think I'm going to leave it on that line. I just wanted to kind of space it. I don't really know how this is supposed to work. And of course I didn't look at the picture, so I think maybe that's... I think that's good. It's cute, right? I'm glad you'll like this. You know, I'm going to pull out my hot glue gun for the numbers, and use that in conjunction with Stick Fast to make sure it sticks well, okay? Gosh, I need my new jar to come in, or my new bottle of Stick Fast to come in desperately. This is getting to be ridiculous. This thing is glued shut every night of my life. Yeah, pesto's pretty great. I like it too. I don't use it nearly enough because I don't do a lot of stuff with green in it until Christmas time comes, and then I'm using green. You could obviously make yourself a bow or whatever too. That would be really nice. For this one would be good on like a wreath, added to a wreath if you wanted to, or even on a large door hanger. Like, it would have to be a big round, probably an 18-inch round to make it work nicely, but it could be done for sure. Okay, now I'm going to do the numbers first. Oh God, I'm going to throw one of those letters across the room is what I'm going to do. Okay, that is also required. Okay, now I'm lining this up with the bottom, okay? And I want it to be similar spacing. Oh, you know what? I heated up my hot glue gun for nothing, obviously, because I didn't even end up using it. I don't even know if it's actually heated up yet. So we're going to go with it, and hopefully this will hold, and if not, then the glue gun will come in handy. And I'm kind of using this, like, there's a worn line down here at the bottom of distressing on the edge of this to hold that together. Now, I'm going to move this closer to me so I can actually see what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to go right in the middle here. Really tempted to stand up so I can see. Hi. Okay, because I can't see anything over there. So y'all just bear with me for a second. Glad I'm wearing pants tonight and not shorts. Usually I wear shorts, but it's been cold in my house. I'm basically always cold. I have a a heating pad that I keep on my desk chair in my office. Keep that sucker on all day, okay? Even in the heat of the summer. It not only helps my back feel good, but it keeps me warm too. Okay, I'm loving this. It would be great. I wish I had a fireplace. I would probably do it as a leaner on my fireplace. All right. Now that that's all said and done, hopefully that's going to stay. I'm worried about these letters not being too heavy, okay, for the stick fast to hold it, but I think it might be okay. Anyways, these boards are really thick. They're very heavy. I need to set something on this. Oh, gosh. I see the error of my ways here. Goodness. Okay. I had it like propped on that. I don't know what I've done, but maybe it's a little lopsided. I don't know yet. I gotta find a place for it, but we're gonna find one and I'll send you a picture. Anyways, I love this. I hope you do too. It's pretty great. Anyway, you can comment the word December to grab this for yourself and go and check out all of the surfaces that are half off right now. Okay? Love you guys. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.